Level 1, Halcón. You are a ghost with a cheap walkie-talkie. You sit on a cracked plastic chair at the edge of a blindingly hot desert highway. The sun bakes your skin. Your throat is always dry. You don't carry a gun. You carry information. When the military convoys roll past, you press the plastic button and say 2 words into the static. That is your entire existence. You are the lowest rung on a ladder built on black, stylized blood and dirty money. The men in the armored SUVs don't know your name. They don't care if you live or die. They just know you don't sleep on the job. You watch the dust clouds rise on the horizon. You watch the wealth of an empire roll past you, knowing you will never touch a single dollar of it. But you stay. So you grip the radio, and you wait. Level 2, Mula. You've graduated from the plastic chair. Now you have a steering wheel. You drive a rusted pickup truck across the border. Hidden in the reinforced chassis are 60 kilos of product. You've wiped the panels with gasoline to confuse the dogs. You sweat through your shirt as you pull up to the checkpoint. The border guard wears mirrored sunglasses. He holds your passport. He looks at you. He looks at the truck. Your heart hammers against your ribs. If he tells you to pull over into the inspection lane, your life is over. But the cartel pays this guard's mortgage. He hands the passport back and waves you through. You exhale. The air in the cab suddenly feels freezing cold. You are a disposable cog in a machine that never stops turning. Level 3, Sicario. You are done driving. Now you ride in the back. You wear a heavy tactical vest. You carry an assault rifle that rattles your teeth when you fire it. A rival syndicate tried to push into the eastern plaza. Your unit is the response. You ride in a convoy of unmarked black trucks. Dust chokes your lungs. You don't ask questions. You just wait for the truck to stop. When it does, you kick the door down. The chaos is loud, fast, and brutal. Muzzle flashes light up the dark warehouse. You move through the smoke. When it clears, the rivals are gone. They leave behind pools of thick, pitch-black fluid on the concrete. Just dark, stylized shadows pooling in the dirt. You survive. You check your magazine. In this life, survival is the only promotion that matters. Level 4, Jefe de Seguridad. You've survived long enough to lead. You don't kick down doors anymore. You tell other men which doors to kick. You are the head of security for a plaza boss. You manage 60 armed men. You plan the routes for the shipments. You coordinate the bribes with the local police. You stand in the shadows of high-end restaurants while your boss eats steak and laughs with politicians. Your eyes never stop moving. You watch the exits. You watch the waiter's hands. You trust no one. One night, an enemy strike team tries to breach the restaurant. You saw them coming a block away. You pull your boss through the kitchen, out the back door, and into an armored SUV while your men handle the threat in the alley. Your boss looks at you pale and shaking. He owes you his life. You just secured your next promotion. Level 5, Plaza Boss. The dust is gone. Now it's air conditioning and tailored silk suits. You sit in the back room of an exclusive club, sliding a thick manila envelope of cash to the chief of police. He sweats. You don't. You own 100 miles of territory. You tax every business, every street corner, every breath taken in your city. You have a mansion with high walls. You have a fleet of luxury cars, but you still kneel to the emperor, El Patrón, the undisputed head of the syndicate. You send your tribute up the ladder every month. Millions of dollars wrapped in rubber bands. You enforce his rules. You keep the peace. You tell yourself this is enough. But late at night, when you look at the map of the country, you wonder what it would feel like to own the whole thing. Level 6, Lugarteniente. You are a lieutenant, one of the 4 pillars holding up a billion-dollar empire. You control the entire northern border, the smuggling tunnels, the border guards, the infinite flow of product into the promised land. You don't deal with street gangs anymore. You deal with senators, international bankers, and private military contractors. You sit in a sprawling modern penthouse overlooking the city. You have everything you ever wanted. But it is 3 a.m. when the encrypted phone on your mahogany desk vibrates. You answer it. The voice on the other end is your inside man in the capital. He is panicking. El Patrón is dead, he says. They hit his armored convoy with rockets. No survivors. Just twisted metal and burning black oil. You hang up the phone. The room is silent, but your mind is already at war. The throne is empty. And in this business, an empty throne is a death sentence for anyone who doesn't try to sit in it. The other 3 lieutenants, Victor, Hector, and Mateo, will get the same call. By sunrise, they will stop being your partners. They will become your executioners. Level 7. The Purge. Before you can wage war outward, you have to secure your own house. Loyalty is a myth. Fear is a currency. And right now, your bank account needs to be full. You summon your top 5 captains to an underground warehouse. They stand in a semicircle, shifting nervously under the harsh fluorescent lights. You walk down the line. You look each man in the eye. You're looking for a twitch, a hesitation, a sign that Victor or Hector has already bought them. One of them glances away. Just a fraction of a second. It's enough. You nod to your head of security. The captain is dragged out the back door. There are no gunshots, just the sound of a heavy metal door slamming shut. The remaining 4 captains swear absolute allegiance. They will lock down the border. Nobody gets in or out without your permission. Your fortress is secure. Now, it's time to hunt. Level 8, the Tactician. Victor controls the money. He launders billions through shell companies, casinos, and real estate. Without him, the cartel goes bankrupt in a month. But Victor is soft. He believes spreadsheets can stop bullets. He hides in a heavily fortified estate thinking his money makes him untouchable. You prove him wrong. You don't send an army. You send one woman, a waitress at his favorite private club, whose brother you smuggled across the border last year. Victor orders his usual bourbon. She drops a single, clear drop of synthesized toxin into the ice. You are sitting in your SUV 3 blocks away when you get the text. The check is paid. Victor collapsed before he reached his car. His heart just gave out. The coroner will rule it natural causes. By midnight, his accountants are working for you. You control the treasury. Level 9, the Warlord. Hector is the muscle. He controls the southern ports and an army of 3,000 mercenaries. He doesn't do stealth. He does shock and awe. He comes for you exactly how you expect him to. A massive frontal assault on your primary safe house. Armored trucks smash through the front gates. Heavy machine gun fire shatters the reinforced glass. But you aren't inside. You are half a mile away on a hillside, watching through thermal binoculars. You let Hector's men flood the compound. You let them sweep the empty rooms. When Hector himself steps out of his armored SUV, thinking he has won, you press a single red button on a remote detonator. The entire compound erupts. The shockwave rattles your ribs from a mile away. Hector's reign ends in a storm of concrete dust and thick black liquid raining down on the wreckage. 2 down, 1 to go. Level 10. The Ghost. Mateo is the hardest target. He runs the intelligence network. He knows your secrets. He knows your safe houses. He knows your fears. He operates completely off the grid. No cell phones, no digital footprint. For 3 weeks, it is a shadow war. Your men disappear. His safe houses burn. A deadly game of chess played in the darkest corners of the country. You realize you can't outspy him. You have to bait him. You leak a rumor. A massive shipment of product, unprotected, sitting at a rail yard. It's too much money for Mateo to ignore. He needs capital to fund his war against you. He doesn't show up himself. He is too smart for that. But his top lieutenant does. You capture the man. You don't ask him questions. You just place his hand on a wooden table and lay a heavy steel hammer next to it. He gives up Mateo's location before you even touch the hammer. Level 11. The Execution. Mateo is hiding in a glass-walled penthouse in a neutral city. He thinks he is safe, surrounded by civilians. You don't send a team. You go yourself. You walk through the lobby in a tailored suit. You take the private elevator. When the doors open, his guards raise their weapons. But they don't fire. Because you already bought them. You doubled whatever Mateo was paying them. They lower their guns and step aside. You walk into the office. Mateo is sitting at his desk. He looks up. He doesn't beg. He knows the rules. You raise a suppressed pistol. 2 hollow thuds. A spray of stylized black ink splatters against the pristine white glass behind him. The shadow war is over. Level 12. The Diplomat. The streets are quiet. The war is won. But before you can sit on the throne, you receive an invitation. A meeting at an empty luxury hotel in a resort city, cleared of all civilians. You walk into the penthouse alone. You leave your weapons at the door. Waiting for you are 3 men in gray suits. They aren't Cartel. They are government intelligence. CIA, DEA, maybe both. They don't flash badges. They don't have to. The violence is bad for business, the oldest man says, sipping a sparkling water. We tolerate your industry because it is predictable. You made it unpredictable. He slides a piece of paper across the table. It's a list of rules. Borders you won't cross. Politicians you won't touch. Tolls you will pay to the shadow economy. If you sign it, they let you rule. They will look the other way. If you don't, you will be in a federal supermax prison by the end of the week. You look at the paper. This is the illusion of power. Even at the very top of the criminal underworld, you are still a dog on a leash held by men in suits. You pick up the gold pen. You sign your name. The men in suits nod, pack their briefcases, and leave without another word. You'll play their game for now, but you're already planning how to burn their house down. Level 13, El Patrón. It has been 6 months since the first phone call. You walk into the central estate, the Emperor's palace. Every guard, every politician, every rival bows their head as you pass. You push open the heavy oak doors to the main office. There it is, the chair, the empty throne. You walk around the massive desk and sit down. The leather groans under your weight. You look out the floor-to-ceiling windows at the sprawling city below. It is all yours. Every street, every border crossing, every shadow. You have won the ultimate prize. You are the most powerful man in the hemisphere. Level 14. The Paranoia. But as you sit in the silence, you realize something. You remember the walkie-talkie, the assault rifle, the desert dust. You remember El Patrón, riding in his armored car thinking he was untouchable right before the rockets hit. You look at the heavy doors of your office. Somewhere out there in a dusty border town or in the back of a smoky convoy, there is a kid with a cheap walkie-talkie. He's hungry. He is ambitious. And he is looking up the ladder. Every lieutenant beneath you is now looking at you the way you looked at El Patrón. Every politician you bought will eventually demand more. Every ghost in this city is waiting for you to close your eyes. The throne is no longer empty, which means the target is now on your back. Level 15, the cycle. You pour a glass of tequila. You place your silver pistol on the desk. You watch the door. You will sleep with guards at your door. Armed men who would die for you or kill you if someone paid them enough. Your wine goes to a taste tester before it touches your lips. Every meal, every cup, every day for the rest of your life. You watch everyone. The politician who smiles too wide, the enforcer who wins too many battles. Any of them could be planning something. Any of them could be the next man who thinks he deserves to sit in your chair. The encrypted phone on your mahogany desk vibrates. You stare at it. The cycle doesn't end. It just changes players. You take a deep breath. You pick up the phone. Speak, you say, and you wait for the war to begin again.
That wraps it up. The story you just heard is fiction, but the relentless cycle of power and betrayal is very real. If this epic dive into the underworld made you think, drop a comment with your biggest takeaway. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next deep dive. See you in the next one.